Okay, good. So, hello everybody. Hello planet Earth. Welcome to another episode of Spectacular. We are a podcast that talks about movies and shit. Mostly shit. And today we are talking about the movie from 1981 called Stripes. And I am one of your hosts, Brandon. And of course, I am joined by my best friend and co-host, Mike.
That's my name.
It is. And we want to...
For some reason, I thought you were going to say co-host and then point to me. I was going to say my own name. I was going to be fancy. I was going to go, Miguel.
That's not the mic of Spanish.
Wait, what?
Is Miguel Spanish?
Michael.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Miguel?
Fuck, now you're making me second guess my heritage.
Okay. I thought it would have been no, Michelangelo is Italian. So yeah, we got to cut that out. So anyway, and I wanted to say sorry, we didn't do an episode last week because Mike and I were taking care of some things personally, but that means, yeah, he got what was coming to him. Yeah. He knows. So we're going to have 2 weeks of movies.
We took care of it real good.
Yeah. So this week we are doing Stripes, and the next week still we are doing The Social Network, but you'll have 2 straight weeks of us. So Mike, tell us about Stripes. What is the synopsis and who's in it?
Well, here's the thing. I had it pulled up on my phone, and then I checked something else.
You fucking
So that I stopped having it pulled up.
Doesn't it?
Stripes, 1981. Directed
Okay.
by Ivan Reitman. Written by a bunch of dudes. Len Bloom, Dan Goldberry, and Harold Ramis himself.
Okay.
One of the stars.
Yeah.
So we have Harold Ramis and Ramis?
I thought it was Ramis.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Harold Ramis and Bill Murray. And 2 friends who are dissatisfied with their jobs decide to join the army for a little fun.
That sounds like not what the army is at all.
No.
Fun. That's what I mean. So this movie...
Hold on, wait. So
Sure.
we have Bill Murray
Okay.
as John.
Everybody's favorite for some reason.
Harold Ramis.
I like him a lot.
Russell.
Yeah.
I just ran to write his last name. That's what I was looking up because I'm like, oh, he has a fun last name. It's Ziski.
Okay.
Warren Oates as Sergeant Hulk. PJ Souls as Stella. Sean Young as Lewis.
I think hers is Finkel is Einhorn. So she's Einhorn.
Einhorn used to be. John Candy as Ox, and John Larroquette as Captain Stillman.
Stella was the blonde that Bill Murray...
Correct.
Okay, yeah. So, as I said a moment ago, Bill Murray, everybody's favorite for some reason. I don't like him. I know you and I briefly talked about this as we were eating some foods, and I just there's something about him. This movie made me really just not like him. And I know he ad-libbed a lot of stuff. I know that's how he is, and I ad-lib a lot of stuff when I do things too. But he just comes off as such a fuck.
Did you hear my exhale in disgust?
Yeah. For what I'm saying or for Bill Murray?
For you.
I just can't stand him. There's many times in this movie where I was like, you know what? I feel slightly uncomfortable too. And okay, so I brought it up to you as reading lunch, and in the scene where he's in the kitchen with Stella, and he's pulling out the spatulas and all this shit, and you said that was ad-libbed. That's cool. That's fine. It just made me a little bit uncomfortable for some reason. I know he's supposed to be flirting with her and shit, and he wants to fuck, but I just didn't feel right about it.
Him to her, sexually, it felt weird.
Yeah, it kind of made me think of with 007, old James Bond movies where James Bond's coming on to the woman and she's like, no.
Oh, slaps her in the butt or something.
But he keeps advancing on her, no. And she's like, no. He's like, yeah, but come on, I'm James Bond. And she's like, all right, fine. It just made me feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
It's funny because
it's not funny. That's okay.
We have the same issue, but with different guys.
Right.
Because if you remember my issues with Christmas Vacation, I had the same issue with Chevy with the girl at the counter at the department store. Yeah.
Essentially flirting with her, being a creep.
But that's way worse. You have to admit that's way worse, right? He's just going
yeah.
Boobies.
And he's flubbing up words.
Fuck. Yeah.
I get it.
Bill Murray is just flirting and being silly, and she's at least into it. It sounds like I'm trying to justify sexual harassment. I was asking for it.
I did like, though, that when they open up the chest, he's like, that's interesting. And then it just cuts to the next scene. I laughed at that because that was kind of silly. They just open up a chest and how could they have done anything in there?
But it's like, I don't like this guy. So it's easy to judge him.
Sure.
Or find fault and stuff like that.
Sure. Like how we do with Franco.
Yeah, 100%.
But at the same time, it's justifiable. It's not like Franco. But here's my thing about Murray.
It's harder to have issues with somebody that you actually like.
Sure. So you're right when it comes to Chevy and Bill when them being dicks, because in real life they are dicks. Like I've heard Bill Murray just being like a bully and kind of an a-hole on sets, like just kind of like doing whatever, and because of I don't know, because he's considered like a comedy god kind of thing. And same thing for Chevy in a sense, but Chevy comes off as, I mean, he says racist shit apparently.
Yeah, he seems worse.
Right, but still both assholes nonetheless. And I've read handfuls of stories about Bill Murray being a cock, even on doing what's the golf one again? That he
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack, thank you. That like he was a dickhead on there too. He's barely in the fucking movie, but he was just a dick nose. And he and Chevy couldn't even be around each other. And what I get it, because they probably have similar personalities, so you can't have two assholes. Like, well, I guess technically you could have two assholes, but then that's a lot of shit. Anyway, my line
How many times am I have to exhale in this episode?
But Bill Murray is kind of a dick, right? Like I'm talking to myself. That's my exact note. But I don't know. But
I mean, that's the thing. If you don't like him, then you don't like this movie.
Oh yeah.
So you can say it now.
Right.
I don't like this movie.
Like if he's in small doses, like he was in Zombieland, like that little
Or Space Jam.
Yeah, very brief, just a little silly, perfectly fine. But a whole movie of him, I couldn't do it. Now, Ramis, though, I love Ramis. Ramis is great. And
that fro, though.
I know. My next line is, Russell's fro is great. Like, when he got it, so how come the haircuts were different, too? When they went to the army, like, so John Candy, who I fucking love, no matter what, I've always liked John Candy. He gets a full-on crew cut, and the other guys get to keep some of their hair. Like, how come?
Well, probably because they're movie stars, and they're like, I'm not going to shave my fucking head down to the bone.
All right. Or maybe just John Candy's like, fuck it, dude. Like, let's just get it
John Candy seems like a goer. He's like, I'll do it. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, just like how he did with the Home Alone. How he only had like 2 days of filming, and he was up for that whole 48 hours just to knock it out for Chris Columbus. But as a favor. Yeah. I think I paid like $50 or something like that. But memorable character for that movie. Anyway, so this movie, you're right. I could say you're right, though, with not liking Bill Murray. I definitely didn't like the movie per se. But there were many a times where I did laugh and I did enjoy some things. Yeah. But would you say that you enjoyed this movie?
Yeah, I kind of did.
Yeah?
A lot. Yeah.
A lot?
Yeah.
Like, there's good jokes.
Yeah. I mean, I have issues with it, like the old, 80s and 70s comedies, like just the pointless boobies and stuff like that.
Yeah. I have a note about that too when he was looking through the it was a single. So what is that? Is that that's not considered a telescope? Because binocular I thought was 2.
No, binocular is 2. Monocular is 1.
Oh, you said monoc. I thought you said bon. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
A little telescope.
Yeah. So he's checking out those titties, which I thought was pointless. Yeah. But that is the 80s, so okay. It's like a not Caddyshack.
A relic of the past or whatever, yeah.
What's the one, something house? Not
Porky's? Animal House.
Yeah, Porky. I was thinking Porky's up, but you're right. How it was just titties galore for...
Like, it's just...
What reason?
Girls' showers, just with an eye shot of every window on the second floor.
Exactly.
Wherever you go.
Which in Stripes made note, because he's looking at him, right?
It makes no sense.
My note is... Women's showers just have regular windows, and then it's like, what? And if he's looking down at them, does that mean those windows are basically head level?
Yeah.
Like, or because he's maybe on the second floor,
yeah.
And the angle that they was looking at, he was looking down, some kind of thing, and so anybody could just walk by and see. And when did the army have that many women in it? I'm not saying that women weren't allowed in the army or anything like that, but I thought there was a lot of like scrutiny for that in the 80s to have women in the army.
I don't know.
I thought that was more acceptable closer to like the 90s. And even then it was like kind of like, ooh, we don't want a fucking woman here. But it's just a lot of titties for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against it, but I'll see some tits.
So I say I like it a lot. There are issues though, like what you're pointing out. So maybe I don't like it a lot, but it's just, I like Bill Murray and Harold enough.
Yeah.
And Sean Young enough.
Sean Young's great. She's barely in it, but I like her a lot.
I just enjoy... It's just fun when they're on screen, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the movie itself, like that stuff, the ending is... the story itself is just super silly. Like,
yeah, what was that ending? Like, she's in penthouse, and then Sean Young is like she reviews like tanks. And
I think that's like so silly that's how you're supposed to take. I mean, the fucking
satire.
The armored Winnebago. Like, come on.
The fuck is that? But I did like that though. When like the things came down, I was like, that's fun. Like that was probably a majority of their fucking budget was that thing. But
it's just so silly. They're like, okay, this is the movie they're making.
Right. With those characters that you mentioned, though, I know you said Bill and Harold, but were there anybody else in particular that stood out to you?
John Candy's fun.
Okay, yeah.
The crazy guy with the knives, he's annoying, but
was it Psycho?
Yeah.
That's what and they called it as Francis or whatever. And I did like that part where he's like, "Oh, calm down, Francis," and he pulls out the knife. He's like, "Psycho. Okay, and there were parts of this movie that I was like, "This is like the basketball, right?" He throws the basketball out the window. He's
like
like,
you see it coming
my
a mile
man.
away, but it's
100%.
super fucking funny.
Like, you know that window.
I know
specifically. That's my note here. Is a little help, and then I wrote, I knew the other window would get hit. I knew it was gonna, but it was still funny because. What else would that possibly be set up? Because you would frame that differently if you wouldn't want to see that. But I really did enjoy that.
Like when he tells Bill to do the push-ups, and
he's struggling,
he's just creaky knees. He's like, boat's supposed to creak like that? Like looking at him in disgust.
Yeah,
like...
or how Harold was teaching that class like profanities and stuff like that. Which, to make a point of that, when I had friends that spoke other languages, I'd always want to, hey, how do you say ass?
Yeah, of course.
You always want to know the profanities. And so, like in Spanish, I know many profanities, and a few other languages I know profane words, and that's all I know. Because
you're a child.
Yeah. What else do I need to know? I don't need to know where the library is, or where the bathrooms are, or anything like that. Like, get the fuck out of here. But again, I think you've made a valid point that since I'm indifferent about Bill Murray, that's probably why. If I can somehow take away I don't hate him.
How have we been friends this long, and I never knew you didn't like Bill Murray?
It's not. That's the thing. This is sort of recent though, and it's even before Stripes, even before watching Stripes. Okay. I think there's something on, not to mention just Reddit like we do every episode, but I was reading something, and it was like a movies one, our movies, and it asked like, oh, which actor ad libs or which actor something, and I was just kind of reading a bunch of them, and there was somebody that wrote a lot about Bill Murray on how he does ad lib a lot, and he has a lot of fun, but at the same time he's a complete a-hole. And I just I thought about it, and I remembered years prior reading some stuff about him on like Broken Flowers being a dick, and on Ghostbusters 2 being a fucking dick, Caddyshack being a dick. I'm like, I get it. Like you come from SNL, and just like Chevy, and you have that kind of
and they all just seem like assholes
right.
on that show.
And Dan Aykroyd, I don't know much about him, but he seems.
I think he's cool.
Aykroyd?
Yeah, I think. I haven't read anything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a thing about
you get a bunch of messages like, "Oh, you did this."
Yeah.
Fuck.
You didn't know? Well. Yeah, he was canceled in 2014. There's something about Aykroyd though. So he helped write Ghostbusters. What the fuck was that scene when he's getting a blowjob from a ghost? That had nothing to do with anything in the movie. That doesn't. Anyway, so Stripes. These guys join the army because they're bored. Like Bill Murray loses his girlfriend. Harold Ramis, nothing going on. He's a teacher.
With his buddy.
Yeah, he's hanging out. I was like, okay, fine. But like, I noticed, is it that easy to really like, look, let's just do it. All right, well, I'll join the army with you. Like, fuck it. Obviously, that does come full circle later because Bill's trying to go AWOL, and Ramis was like, I fucking did this for you. Like we did this together, and
it's pretty much the only like actual emotion in the movie. Right.
And it's kind of just, if you think about it, really just glazed, or not glazed, I'm sorry. Like just barely.
I don't know. He jumps on him. He tackles him.
Right. But like he does that, but there's no point where Bill's like, all right, you're right. Like I'll stay. Like he's pushing back, and then they get caught, and then they get dropped off, and that's it. It's not like he ever actually says, you know what, you're right. Yeah. Like I was leaving you. Like I'm sorry. So yes, that was you're learning about the character. Like you're seeing that the drama between the two of them, but you're not. There wasn't really a result. I'm sorry. There wasn't really a
conclusion.
Thank you. Yeah. Just for that little thing. Yeah. Obviously he does stay, but still. And yeah, it just made me like him less. Like, I know that's his character in the movie, but still.
Well, it kind of goes to like, I mean, what's that? Vincent or something?
Which one was
with I forgot. Melissa McCarthy. Fairly recently, where he's like the curmudgeon neighbor or something like that. Did you see that one? Okay.
I do like McCarthy though.
Yeah, but it's like a continuation of like the kind of just curmudgeon wise ass that he's been playing for 40 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Well,
also he looks like he's 40 something and he's only like
that's
30.
literally what I was going to say. Because my next one is
like he's never.
He says before he's 30, like to do something, and I thought before you're 30, motherfucker, you look like you're in your mid 40s, both of them. And so then my thought is, if they're in their 20s in 1981, let's just say 25, isn't that already too old to join the army? I thought they had their cutoff at like 19.
What?
At that time.
It wasn't that young. No fucking way. It has to be like 35 or something like that.
You think the motherfuckers be like, let's just say 30 years old and join the army and have to go through
I didn't say it happens often. I'm just saying.
They're
not going to cut off. What's a 21-year-old doesn't know how to shoot a gun? Come on.
I'm just saying. But there's so they did say 20s, and again, looking at least 40s. Like there's no fucking way. And so, but that's my point is, let's just say they are 28. Yes, you're still relatively in your prime, but when you can have people that are straight from high school in there that are really more so.
I mean, that's another thing too. And it hasn't stopped since, because it's just continued with Seth Rogen and that whole crew and stuff like that, or the Judd Apatow crew. But yeah, it's just a never ending stream of immature adult men. Like it's been happening for however many years.
Yeah, the cycle. It's like the Matrix.
Down.
It'll just keep I don't know why I use the Matrix as an example, but like,
what are you talking about?
There's always going to be another one.
Oh yeah,
and then the robots will win, and then they'll come back and do it again and do it all over again.
This is coming from an immature man himself,
sure.
So I know when I see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they're so likable, at least to me. They're so and they're so funny. Like that's kind of what I see Bill Murray as, like kind of sad, like an underlying sadness to him. Mm-hmm. Especially you see the sadness in the beginning of this movie, but cut with like super witty and super funny, just smart assery. So you're like, this fucking guy, you gotta like this guy. So the movie where that doesn't happen, at least that I remember, would be like Lost in Translation. Like it's just sad till he meets Scarlett, and then it kind of brings him back to life, but like actually happy or close to happy.
Do we ever know what she whispered to him in that movie?
I think he whispered to her.
Oh, okay. Do you know he whispered to her?
I don't think so.
Okay. That's interesting. Because I don't think I've fully seen that movie.
Oh, wow.
Well,
fuck you.
Well, I mean, I heard great things. I just...
Well, you hate Bill Murray, so what the fuck are you gonna watch it for?
I don't hate the guy. I just disapprove of him with a really extreme prejudice. But again, he had to have been at least in his 40s when this movie happened. There's no fucking way.
I'll say he was like 31. Something like that.
I mean, that sounds reasonable to see. But even thinking of that, I didn't look that old when I was 31. Like, I can still maybe do like a 28. Like,
all right, I'm not casting you in shit. So
I'm just saying. I mean, you're not my casting director because we got this leather couch right there. So, and there's a desk, and so I made this joke to Mike as we were eating lunch. Which again, there was many parts of this movie that I did enjoy. They were silly, but when the not the drill sergeant, but like the recruiter had asked them, like, have you guys been convicted of any crimes? And they both had the same joke, like, convicted? No. So obviously they've been accused, but it just never went.
It's never actually been accused.
Right. It hasn't been charged. So I thought that was a good line. But
no, they have been charged. They haven't been convicted.
Correct. That's what I meant. So yeah. But would you say there's a part in this movie that stands out the most? Like obviously most memorable point?
You know what? Most of the time, I think it's like a fault of me lately where I'm looking for like realism realism in movies where you just have to accept that it's not going to be there.
Okay.
Right. So like trying to find maybe it's not even realism, but like in whatever world that you make in this movie, you have to just abide by your own rules, if that makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a wizards and shit like that, you can have wizards and it's silly, but you have to still go by the rules that you've established in that world. Anyway. So normally movies like this where it gets like super silly, I'm just not into it, stuff like that. But when they do their drill presentation for the general, like
these are the guys that I want.
Yeah. Like that general, that's ridiculous.
Oh, 100%. He would have, I mean, I didn't write it down, but as they're marching in there and stuff like that, that would not 100% he'd get the fuck out or they wouldn't even have got that far. There would have been maybe some kind of security or something like that. But and they're not not wearing their uniform. They have their hats backwards. The one guy still has his like bandana on or something. Like I'm like, that's not going to happen.
So it's like super duper silly, but Bill Murray sells it enough, like he brings himself to life enough to be silly and funny that it's enjoyable. I enjoyed it.
I did like that the military police
and they're in sync. Like it
looked pretty good. Yeah, it looked good. John Candy was off a little bit. But when the military, so Sean Young and Stella, when they were in the stands too, they always had their name tags. I was like, why would the military police have a name tag? Like it would be on their
name tags.
But I thought they would have the name imprinted on their fatigues, not on like an actual thing they can clip on their uniforms.
I don't think they're wearing fatigues.
They were. I swear they had to have been wearing because
they were in the police uniform.
Yeah, they had the MP, correct. But they still had, I'm almost certain they had the little name badge, and it was like printed or whatever.
Don't even have to fucking say it again.
No, but I'm just saying.
Fucking Brandon and the fucking minutia police.
Even when they got off the airport or the airplane at the end of the movie, they were still wearing the name badges. I was like, come on. Like, they can't just not wear those.
Why does that bother you? Who gives a fuck?
It's just little things.
Yeah, no fucking shit.
Well, what do you want me to do? Jesus. I notice the little things, Michael. And...
not the important things, just little useless things.
What did I put the line, "We are willing to learn." Is that when he was still being interviewed by the recruiter?
Right. So the recruiter asked them if they're homosexual.
Oh, that's right. They were willing to. That's right. Okay, that made me laugh.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Yeah. So, do you think that was how much of this movie do you think was ad-libbed?
Oh, I don't know. What do you want a number? I don't know. 61%.
So. There's not a number on this.
Yeah, no shit.
But I'm looking at the IMDb trivia, of course, and there's actually a lot of stuff that you can know about this movie. For example, the U.S. Army was actually very helpful and cooperative during filming, which surprised Ivan Reitman. Since the script depicts the military as being made up largely of buffoons. But Bill Murray improvised the Aunt Jemima treatment sequence with PJ Souls.
Your favorite part?
Reacted naturally to whatever he said and did. Yeah, so the part in the kitchen.
It's flirty. It's fun. Stop hating, bro.
I don't know. It didn't. So I get it. Like I can understand the appeal of Bill Murray because he's funny, and with humor that could be charming. That's how I've gotten by in life. But because it's not the looks, but like I couldn't like again.
It would just rub you the wrong way. It's fine.
Right.
I have like 9 of those dudes.
Yeah, I have plenty of people. I wouldn't say I have enemies in my life, but I definitely have people that I despise. Yeah. And if I saw them...
have people, if I saw them tied to railroad tracks, I would drive faster.
I'd make it seem like I was going to try to save them, but then I just couldn't quite get there. No, I mean, realistically, even the people that I don't like, I wouldn't want them to ever be harmed as people, but if they died, I'm not going to cry about it. But you know what you did, Jason. I don't know any Jasons. I know Jasons, but I have no ill will towards Jasons. But so your favorite characters, obviously Bill and Harold,
right?
And you said Sean Young as well, and John Candy.
I just can't stop looking at her when she's on screen.
Yeah, she's great. Again, watching her though made me just want to watch Ace Ventura again. Yeah. And I've seen Ace Ventura many a times. But were there parts about this movie that you didn't like?
Like it's.
Is it the silly?
Yeah, it's the silliness, the
drill.
But I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I wasn't bored.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I wasn't bored.
That's kind of like my threshold of not liking something, like staring at my watch, like, oh god, can we get through this sequence already? Like it's just silly and fun. So I wouldn't say I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was a relatively short movie, like about an hour and a half, like almost on the dot.
Sure, I don't know,
like something like that. But yeah, I did. There wasn't a time where I looked at my watch either, and I don't have a watch. But I do have many, but I just don't wear them. But yeah, I didn't look for anything. I wasn't like the only time I was ever not looking was when I was writing my notes.
Right.
But I wasn't checking my phone just so I could focus. That was a problem with Social Network though. I know we'll talk about it more, but like there's many times where I was watching that movie that I have never actually fully seen it. So I was kind of just watching it. Oh, I should be writing shit. Like things that stood out to me, obviously. But anyway, we'll get to that next. So we talked about it a little bit, the unnecessary nudity. So you can literally do without that scene where he was checking out the women, and when the other guy came in and said, "You're gonna get this," because there was absolutely no reason for him to, like, maybe if there was a reason, maybe they were doing, like, there was an undercover.
Like, it's just the culture of movie making back then. Like,
yeah, and absolutely
just raunchy comedy. Throw it in there.
Was that raunchy comedy? You would say?
Is that a serious question?
I mean, yes. I don't see it as raunchy. Like, yes, with the nudity in there and stuff like that, that makes that. But like Porky's for sure, Animal House for sure, Revenge of the Nerds, sure. Like that I could see raunchy, but this I don't necessarily see as raunchy. But,
yeah, but I'm saying the whole thing. I'm saying just
right,
that scene, that style of
yeah.
movie.
I mean, that would not fly to this day. Like even in the, I think it was the second Star Trek movie, the J.J. Abrams ones, there was a scene where the woman was undressing really quick, and Chris Pine's character kind of like glances at her, and she's like, oh, don't look at me. And it was just an unnecessary shot for her to be in like her underwear and stuff like that. And I know Abrams got some shit for it too, which is still accurate.
Oh, Alice E, right?
The blonde. Yeah. Like it was completely unnecessary, but I think obviously it's there to keep you
titillation.
Yeah, to keep you engaged in the movie, to keep like the guy's like, oh. But it is 100% unnecessary.
Yeah, the only time it's necessary is in Starship Troopers.
In the shower scene, yeah, because they're talking about what their lives are going to be like after they leave, and yeah, that was I mean, you didn't see full frontal in that part, but I was hoping for the guys. That is,
yeah,
of course. So yeah, I can definitely do without that scene, and the movie would not have changed in any which way. And that scene was like a minute and a half.
I remember his girlfriend's topless when he walks in the apartment at the beginning of the movie too.
Yes, that is accurate. And then she puts on the shirt, and because she's leaving him and stuff like that. Now that was his apartment, so
why does he keep saying I'm losing my apartment?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay, because I wrote here his apartment, but I didn't know what that meant, so I just didn't say anything. But he did have like the hoop there and stuff too, which he was jumping off of the chimney and then doing like the dunks. Was that 10 feet? You think?
No.
Yeah, there's no way. But the other thing about it too is if you're
I don't think it's a chimney. I think it's just brick wall.
But it seemed like there was like a thing there, right? Like I know it was brick wall.
No, yes. Every wall was brick.
No, I know that. I know that. But it looked like it had something right there, like a slight little lip to it. That's what I think he was jumping off of. But that was not regulation, so I don't count any of those dunks. And obviously, Bill Murray is a basketball fan, though, because you brought up Space Jam.
Yeah.
And he is a New York Knicks fan, which is unsettling to me. That's unfortunate. But
another reason you
another reason I don't like. Well, I have nothing against the Knicks.
Yeah.
Like they almost got LeBron. I think before LeBron went to the Lakers, he had been caught on a mic because he had just beat Dwayne Wade. Like it was Dwayne Wade's last year, and he's like, it was either here or New York, and there was like probably a collective scream for everybody in New York when they heard that soundbite. But fucking Knicks, man, I could talk about basketball. You know what? I can't talk about basketball right now. The Lakers fucking suck. Like they won last night, which is great, and I'm glad they won. And they're in the 9th seed right now for the play-in, but I kind of don't even want them in the playoffs. Because if they make the 7 or the 8 seed, they're either playing Phoenix or Golden State.
And there's how many teams in the playoffs? 27?
Yeah.
Out of 30?
Well, technically, if you think about East and West, yeah, there's 16 total.
Oh, my God.
But if they play either one of them, they're just going to get whooped. And I believe Anthony Davis is out for the rest of the season. Like, I'd rather them just lose and just rest up and then come in strong next year. But apparently they're really trying to make the playoffs. And obviously that's the goal. You want to make the playoffs so you can win a championship. But like, fuck, man. Like it's a struggle to watch some of these fucking games. But like if you were to watch with me, you can just right. But as you've done those sighs about me and my little minutia, like that's me the whole fucking game. They'll have a lead. I'm like, sweet. I don't have to watch for like 5 minutes. I come back and they're down by 2. It's like, like I can't. But I have to keep watching because of being a fan. But I imagine that's how you are with the Rams. Because there's always that chance. Like if you're a touchdown down,
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about because we're world motherfucking champions this year.
You
motherfucker, recognize.
Yeah. Did you see the video of what's his name? Like walk away of the photographer, of the photographer falling?
Yeah, he was fucking drunk as fuck.
I know he was fucking drunk. Like and even when during his
and his
speech,
wife like just went like, oh hey, sorry.
Yeah. But I think what I read was they're paying for that photographer's like medical bills and stuff like that because like she like broke her spine.
He doesn't know she cracked a vertebrae or something like that. You just think someone fell off and
that's what I'm
you're
saying.
super drunk.
If you don't see it, it didn't happen.
I can help, but I'll probably fall off too because I'm drunk as fuck.
Yeah, but it's funny because his face like, and then he
that's pretty good.
Drank his water and walked
that's
away.
the thing. Like it would have just been funny if she was fine.
Yeah,
like
like she got up and dust herself off. Yeah, but no, she broke her spine.
Yeah,
so that's sad. It's like a. What was that stunt double for Uma Thurman? She was in
Zoe Bell.
Yeah. Didn't she get really hurt like doing something for a stunt for Uma?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I thought she had.
I think you're talking about the issues with Uma herself.
I know Uma crashed the car.
Yeah.
And she got hurt on that, like whiplash and something else.
But Zoe getting hurt specifically in Kill Bill, I don't remember.
I don't know if it was Kill Bill, but I thought she did something else when she got hurt. But maybe I could easily be mistaken. Oh yeah, definitely. I make things up all the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I gotta sound cool, don't I? I gotta sound charming and very confident. Anyhow,
your name's not even Brandon.
Yeah, I didn't even give him my coat. So this movie Stripes, 1981. It's a movie of its time for sure, because watching it now, the unnecessary nudity and my hatred for Bill, I don't hate him, but my dislike for Bill Murray. But every aspect about this movie, other than really him, and the scene you actually even brought up, even the drill at the end, well, not end, but like to go to Italy.
I said like a half an hour after that.
Yeah, but
it felt like an end. And I was like, oh,
it kind of did.
And I looked at like 30 more minutes.
Well, does that mean didn't you just say you didn't look at your watch, and then now you did that, and you said like 30 minutes?
I think I got up to like go to the bathroom or something.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh man.
You know, when I was watching Social...
Or no. I don't remember exactly, but
okay.
I knew I was like, there's just a lot of movie left still.
Well, the good thing is this was recording the whole time. Thank God, because I thought if I went away first, so I had not checked. So I'm glad it is still recording. But I was like that with Social Network. I paused it for a second, so I had the bathroom, and I was like, wow, I'm exactly at an hour. And I thought, I got another hour left? But like I didn't even notice that it had already been an hour. Right. So that's kind of like a good thing. But we'll talk about that later.
That's kind of how I felt with Batman, because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, 248 or some bullshit.
It's like 256.
Well, the good thing is Batman looks enjoyable.
Yeah.
And
well, no, it's a good thing, because I was mid-movie. I was thinking like, oh, I wonder how far along in the movie it is, but I didn't, look at my watch or anything like that.
You thought it.
I thought
you
it.
Thought about checking, but you didn't.
I was like, it's fine. I mean, I'm not like in a rush.
And then there's another 3 hours.
And there's another 2.5 hours.
Yeah, you're 20 minutes in, and you're like, I wonder how long this movie's gonna be. But I think you said this during lunch, but you did enjoy that movie.
Batman?
Yeah. The Batman.
Yes.
Okay. And who were the villains in that? So you had Riddler, Penguin, technically.
Yeah.
Okay. And was Catwoman a villain in that?
No.
Or she was helping him out?
Yes.
He did like a circular, like yes, no. Obviously,
she's not a Batman or a bad guy.
She's not a Batman.
She's not a Batman.
Did you ever see the trip with Steve Coogan and the other guy, the other comedian?
Yeah, where they do the Michael Caine impressions.
Yeah. So when I was at work the other day, my colleague and I, she's seen those too, and so we pulled up the clips of them doing it.
John Byron or something like that. Anyway,
I don't know, but it was the third one. So they were talking about The Dark Knight Rises and how when Michael Caine was crying, he's like, like I'm gonna try to do my Michael Caine, so bear with me. But he was talking about,
ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you.
Sure.
Welcome to the Brandon episode annual. We could do it every episode. Mm-hmm. Terrible Impression Theater. This week, brought to you by
Kraft Cheese. It should be like, hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Brandon Does Horrible Impressions with your host Brandon, and I am Mike to judge him. But the scene is when Christian Bale is essentially supposed to be dead, so he's crying and stuff like that, and how he's saying, let me prepare myself.
I'm prepared
from Michael Caine. So
I'm glued to my seat.
I'll start with clips of not Batman, so I can get my way into the phrase of Batman. So.
I'm just going to close my eyes and just let it
you ready?
Roll over me.
Close your eyes.
Bathe me in.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. And so you were only... Okay, hold on. I'm going to say that line again. Okay. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. So, not really good. But when he does...
The first one was better.
Okay.
Better than like a D- is better than an F.
A D- is passing in high school. Okay?
It's better.
I can graduate from high school with a D- average.
You're still getting lapped by A's and B's and C's,
that's
but
okay.
I mean, it's
a D- is passing. So the F.
Second one was terrible.
Thank you.
I guess it sounded kind of British.
So you know what? It's the microphone really that takes away the British in my voice. Yeah, it's the micro. It's not my fault. It's the microphone's fault. Mm-hmm. So laughing made my eyes water. So when he's doing the impression of, I think it was Coogan doing it too, that he was the part where Michael Caine's crying, and he says Batman's. So he's like, I don't want. You're closing your eyes, and it's making me. I know you're closing your eyes so you can envision Michael Caine, but it's okay. Here we go.
I'm just close envisioning your stupid face doing the thing. Oh, I love it.
Okay, I'm very hot now. So okay, here we go.
I'm turning an ear towards you,
even though you're wearing headphones. Stupid fuck.
I want all the waves to.
You want the highest fidelity.
Okay. You feel it? Yeah, let's feel it. What?
Okay. I keep keep tearing up a little bit because it's laughing. So I'm not gonna marry not marry. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna marry another Batman. I just can't. And then so that's when the other guy's like, are there other Batmen? And then they're joking like, yeah, I'm not gonna marry another one. I just can't. I can't do it, Mr. Wayne. I'm sorry I failed you.
Dude, a little Scottish. I can't do it.
My British is a little Scottish.
I can't do it.
I just can't do it, Captain. I just can't bury another Batman.
Oh man, lovely.
But my British generally somehow goes into Scottish.
Yeah.
I don't know how or why it does. I think they sound similar, just like British and Australian sometimes to me sounds a little similar. But if you say that to an Australian or a British person, they are offended. So I take offense because I'm an idiot and a little British. But it's my fault because I need to practice my craft. Now that was everybody. That was my Michael Caine. Not that good. I think my Arnold is generally the best impersonation that I do. That and I used to be able to do Cartman quite well, and then I hit puberty and I couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
But I do value the Arnold. But I'm not gonna do that now because we didn't do an Arnold movie. That'd be out of place. Right. But anyway, that was a good waste of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Of me
That's a lot of gold to throw at people too. You want to, spread it around a little between episodes.
Like peanut butter. You just want to spread it. Like creamy peanut butter overcooked, put a little bit of honey on top. Do a little bit of sweetness. Yeah, a little bit of bacon. And now I'm just hungry again.
Yeah, peanut butter jelly bacon sandwich. Fucking so good.
Or just peanut butter and honey.
It's fine.
Well, so it's just fine. So yeah, so peanut butter. Wait, when you make your peanut butter and jelly, you obviously separate the peanut butter on one piece, the jelly on the other, correct?
Because I'm an American.
Correct. So I have seen, which frustrated me, people put the peanut butter and jelly on one, and then they just put the other piece on top. And I thought, how do you even spread that jelly properly? Because the peanut butter is a spread as well. And as they'd spread it, it just wasn't. They're not able to put a lot of jelly because it's like globbing into it. It's not like staying, and it frustrated me a lot. But apparently many people do it.
I know what you're saying. It doesn't seem like it'd be that big an issue because peanut butter is so viscous, thick, right? Mm-hmm. So you put on that
Two
layer,
C's.
It's on it.
Sure.
So and the jelly's thinner, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think the jelly's thinner. Come on, you.
When I have a spoon for my dog and I make him eat jelly, he doesn't lick his lips for 14 minutes because of all the jelly. It's because
that's valid.
Peanut butter is so thick. So,
we don't need sound effects.
Yeah. Hey, you're going to do stupid impressions. I'm going to do sound effects.
Was it stupid? Because I'm pretty sure people listening were laughing at how stupid I am. So it's not a stupid impression.
Well, me, they're just disgusted by the sounds.
Yeah. And thinking about your dog licking peanut butter, you creep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's what he does when he gets jelly.
The follow-up question, though, is
hey, me.
If you're cutting your sandwich in half, and it's like a peanut butter and jelly, are you cutting from corner to corner or half in the middle of the flat part of the bread?
I don't cut my sandwiches in half.
Sure.
Other than like long hoagie style, stuff like that.
Okay.
If I did, though...
Ooh, this is the moment, because I know what I would do. And this is another best friend test where Mike failed the first time during Gunpowder Milkshake.
You know what? If I want more sandwich, even though it's literally the exact same sandwich, if I want more, I'm going to cut on the horizontal, not the diagonal.
Okay, so you're going to cut on the flat opposed to the corners.
Right.
So that's where you're wrong, and here's why.
If I can explain.
Okay, sure.
If you cut the diagonal, you just have so much crust, As opposed if it's a little U of crust.
Right.
It said
the U is because you cut in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your bread is very round.
One long run.
Sure.
And then two little stubbies.
Right.
As opposed to two big ass, long V's.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I do like.
What I'm saying is a square plus b squared equals c squared.
You're saying math to me, and I follow along, but I don't know what.
Okay.
So, no, I get what you're saying. So obviously, I do like the beginning of that you said it's all the same thing because you are still eating the same. But I get that if you cut it diagonally, it does seem like a lot more crust.
Yeah.
But in reality, it is the same thing. But I do cut it. If I was gonna cut, it's diagonal. I don't know what it is about it. I think I just feel like it looks more appealing to me. Like if I were to stack them and stuff like that.
Yeah. If you're gonna do a spread of sandwiches,
but
cutting them diagonally, they look cool. Yeah.
But then the only issue that I have with cutting diagonally is that when you get those corner parts, like the very tips, and you're biting it, you're getting like nothing. Well, if you cut in the middle on the flats, every bite is pretty much like a whole bite. You know what I'm saying? Because if I was gonna eat that corner,
Yeah, then why are you disagreeing with me then?
Because I just don't like the way that looks visually.
Okay.
That's why I like the diagonal cut. So I mean, I guess we're not best friends again for a little while. I don't know. I gotta talk to Alfonso again. So back to the movie.
Yeah.
And not about Michael Caine. You're supposed to blow the bloody doors off. So this pacing of the movie, though, even though I didn't check my phone or anything like that for timing, I did think that the pacing was slow. But it was still in a sense that, like, I wasn't bored, but it seemed slow to me. Like, from them starting in the guy's apartment to go to the army, to go to Italy, to go to saving them, it just, even though it was barely an hour and a half movie, it just seemed sluggish.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't have to check because I wasn't.
It does feel weird because it feels like that Italy piece it's like a whole other movie in and of itself almost.
Yeah, could be.
It's a weird, big ass chunk. I mean, I guess it's the last third, which you want your movies in thirds,
sure.
But it's almost like so removed from the rest of the story. It just feels like it's a whole. I almost think of that like that would be Stripes 2.
Stripe harder.
Electric Boogaloo. You know what I'm saying?
Stripes 3, and now there's 16 stripes. That was bad. And you made
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
if they were to do a sequel, like, oh, now Stripes is going to Italy.
We're going international.
Yeah.
And it's lots of
But in the end,
pizza.
it's just tacked on to the end of the actual movie.
Right.
So.
And you brought up the point earlier about the Winnebago. Like, that was a little ridiculous. Like, that's his secret weapon is the Winnebago that can have a rocket mount on top.
I do like when it stops, you hear it like rattling like an old shitty.
I mean, it probably really
Even though
was.
it's like state of the art supposed to be.
At that time, yeah. And when they had the rockets come up from the roof and the guy that was in the tower like shooting at him and stuff like that, realistically, I'm pretty sure you could shoot those missiles and they would blow the fuck up because they're exposed. Like when the turret went up, you could just see the missiles. Well, now you generally have a shield in front of them. So that way, only when the missile's going to blow is that shield comes away so it can fire out of it. Because since they're exposed, you could just think. So they really dropped the ball on the, what is that?
Accuracy?
No. Well, yeah, the movie, sure, accuracy. Like where I lean back in the chat so I sound like it went far away. But how did I get to my next line being, Bill Murray is so annoying? But then the one in the front, I have Bill Murray is annoying and kind of a dick. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So what other notes do you have about this movie, Michael?
That's pretty much it. I did put Harold Ramis, like, super fucking talented. Like, all these guys. Like, so he wrote that. He wrote...
co-wrote.
But, I mean, he directed Caddyshack, Vacation, Groundhog Day, Analyze This. Like...
Analyze This? I didn't know that. Okay.
So...
When did Bill Murray and him have the falling out?
Oh, I don't know. Okay. I don't remember.
And that's sad because I remember.
Wait! I just said that. What are your thoughts on Groundhog Day? Don't tell me you hate it.
No, I actually really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Just because I don't like Bill Murray doesn't mean I can't appreciate a movie.
What? That's all him.
I understand that. It's also him and Chris. I was gonna say Chris Evans. He's
Elliot.
Yes, I was gonna say he's in Schitt's Creek and Cabin Boy and Eagle Heart. If you watch it on Adult Swim, it's so ridiculous. Anyway, I actually did greatly like Groundhog's Day, and again, that's why I said recently it was only some reason that my dislike for Bill Murray. Like, yes,
he's a bigger asshole in that movie.
Yes, 100%. But I get it though, right? So the reason why I understand him being an asshole.
Maybe he reminds you too much of you.
It could be.
So you make
sarcastic.
Yeah.
Asshole.
This is all coming
charming
together, guys.
to women for some odd reason. Because again, it's not the looks. Bill Murray is not a handsome man at all.
Fucking, it ain't you either.
He's losing his hair. Yeah. I still have a full head of hair.
Yeah, full head.
I do have the big forehead, but full head of hair, luscious lips, and hazel eyes, but huge asshole.
Those are hazel eyes that I'm looking deep into right now.
Yeah. So if you look at your eyes compared to my eyes, if people were to look, yours are darker like brown. But in the middle of mine, there's some green, just a smidge of blue as well. No big deal. But when you really look into my eyes, you'll fucking come hard. Anyway, I like Groundhog's Day, and Bill Murray was a bigger dickhead in the movie. But I get it, though, because he has to keep reliving that day, so he's kind of like getting stir crazy and all that shit.
Well, remember at the beginning of the movie, he's an asshole, too.
Because he didn't get something or something like that? What was it?
Because
He didn't want to
go
go?
to fucking Puxatani in the middle of winter.
Right, yeah. He didn't want to.
Yeah,
he didn't want to, yeah. So he's being a dick to his producer.
Yeah.
What's
Anyway,
her? Okay. And then Chris Elliott was just the cameraman. But Yeah.
That's my fucking favorite part when they're doing the auction for the dude's dates, and he comes out second. He just does the slow turn with his hands.
Chris Elliott. Yeah. Chris Elliott, I like a lot. He's not, not remotely a big actor at all, but he's been around for a long time, and he's always had kind of memorable parts.
Scary Movie 2.
Yeah.
His little hand.
Yeah, grab my strong hand. Or he's fucking with the turkey, like he's like licking the fucking butthole of it and shit like that. Yeah, it makes me wonder too. Was like those things ad-libbed? I would like to think it was because it's done by was it Keenan Ivory that was doing this, or it was just
Wayne's,
yeah.
Keenan Ivory, yeah.
All those movies that he did. Don't Be a Menace, so good, but now I just want to watch the first two Scary Movies because 3, 4, 5, 6 are just bad.
I want to say the third has the funniest part in it though, with the funeral. I think is in number 3, with I think it's the girl's funeral, and then Kevin Hart and is it Anthony Anderson? Who's the bigger guy?
Anthony Anderson was in one of the. This one, Kevin Hart was like a nobody still.
Yeah,
Anthony Anderson was kind of getting his career back together.
Where I think they're like, oh, she's still alive, and she falls out of the thing, and they resuscitate. I haven't seen it in a long time. I just remember just fucking bawling, laughing because it was so ridiculous.
Those movies are fucking ridiculous, 100%. But you know that going in though. With Stripes, I would if they had that kind of humor in it, I would not have been prepared for that at all. Like that's not too zany, too Zucker, and too slapstick. But so
zany, that's a good word for it. Zany.
Mm-hmm.
Stripes is not zany. The end is a little zany.
In this movie?
Yeah.
In Stripes?
Yeah. Very zany, actually.
Because they're in, what is it, Czechoslovakia? And they're like, hey, we're back in Germany. Which I did think that was kind of funny. Americans back in Germany. And this is the 80s, so fucking almost 40 years later after World War II. But do you consider this movie a classic?
Yeah. Well, because everyone does.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't get it. Because when I told people that we're going to do this movie, like in person, like, oh, a classic. And I was like, why do you think that? Like after watching it, what makes this movie a classic? Is it because it's Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Ivan Reitman, or because
Sean Young. Don't forget my girl Sean Young.
Sean Young. Who was there was the one guy. He was one of the cadets. Are they called cadets?
Yeah.
He had the kind of jacked teeth. He was a buzzed head. I recognize him from another movie. I thought he was like a villain or something like that. He was the guy that he was getting tortured when Bill Murray and Stella came to save them. Like I know him from something else.
His face. I can't remember his name.
But obviously this is a younger version of him. But he was in something. I easily could have looked it up as you're doing right now. But like I know him as a villain in a movie, and I couldn't quite. I feel like it was the movie with Keenan Ivory where he was making money and stuff like that, and he was the bad guy, and like he got crushed by like some machine or something. It had to be that guy because there's no
fucking looking for him. I can't.
No, you're fine. You can get it. You can get it. So I'll say my piece about this movie because it's almost been an hour. So obviously I didn't like Bill Murray. I still kind of don't. But the rest of the cast I greatly enjoy. John Candy is always one of my favorites. Like any movie he's in, he always brings a certain goodness to him, right? Like he seems like he's a natural comic. And he has like a lovable sense to him and stuff like that. And in this movie, it was the exact same thing. Like the part where he's playing cards, where he's explaining to the guy that he's like, oh no, let me see your cards. Oh yeah, you want to go in, and then John Candy still has the full house or whatever, so he wins. And then putting the sheets on the bed, he just to me,
his name's John Deal, but okay. I don't know which movie you're thinking of.
All right, you talk about it real quick.
The movie,
yes.
I just, like I said, it's fun seeing them being, smart asses, and it's almost like you think like Bill's going to be the smart ass and Harold's going to be like the straight man,
right?
But he's almost just as smart ass as Bill, maybe not as like overtly charming, I guess you can say, but like every time they have the jokes together, like they're tag teaming it. That like especially like, oh, I'm willing to learn. Like that's Harold saying that.
Yeah, that was great. Because that's the thing. He's just as natural.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't know. See, this thing. Was he a comic? Because I know Bill was
a writer.
Oh, okay. So he's.
Right.
I mean,
he had only been in a couple little things, and then I don't know if he didn't really want him more. He didn't really want to do it, and Bill's like, well, I'm not doing it unless he does it with me.
You do it, yeah. Well, because they were good friends.
Yeah.
That's why it's heartbreaking when you find out they had a falling out. and then when he was on like his deathbed, they did reconcile, and so that to me that was great that they were able to do that before he did pass away. But like they went 20 years like not even talking, maybe longer, like not even talking and stuff. Like I can't imagine you and I getting in like whatever something happens.
Tiff.
Yeah, I was gonna say tiff, but I was like, let's say a fight.
I think it has to be a little more than a tiff.
Yeah,
to not talk for 20 years.
Yeah. Like you stepped on my fucking new shoes, man. Fuck your shoes, or something like that. But like to be 20 plus years and not talk to like your best friend, like that's tough. Because then I got to make new friends, or like call the friends that are already my friends and try to be better than. Like, why would I even put forth effort like that? So as I'm looking at John D, what's his name? John D. Deal. So looking at these, I believe the movie that I'm thinking of, because he was in Con Air briefly, but the movie was in the 90s. Ooh, he was in Nash Bridges. Time to Kill, Color, Destiny of This, The Grave. You know what? I thought I just saw it, because now I'm in 95. Stargate. The Client, Almost Dead. I know he did a movie with one of the Wayans. It was Mo Money. I was right. So yeah, he was the villain in Mo Money. And let's look at Mo Money real quick. 100%. So he was the villain in that. And that's where I recognized him.
Okay.
Fucking Mo Money. When and why did I see that movie? I don't know. But apparently I'm very big on the Wayans, apparently. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so that's the only other guy that really stood out. All the other, besides John Candy, all the other like side characters and stuff, I couldn't recognize him to this day. Well, the drill sergeant, no, but the captain or whatever.
Judge Reinhold too.
Yeah, you're right. The guy that was using the monocular or whatever, I recognize him.
John Larroquette, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I couldn't pinpoint a movie. Can you tell me a movie that he would have been in?
Well, he had his own fucking TV show.
I don't. What is it called? The John?
Yes, it
was. Was it like a talk show or something?
No, the
sketch
TV show.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Mostly because this movie, when he's checking out titties. Like,
hey, you're fucking making me double check.
Yeah, you should.
Myself.
You fuck. So anyway, Michael.
Too many Johns, I'd say.
Yeah. That should be a show itself. Too many Johns. Too many Johns. Instead of too many cooks. So, would you recommend this movie, Michael?
Yes.
Because you think it's a classic?
Yes.
God, I wish if there was a way that I can like disagree more. I can understand why this movie is a classic. I can understand why people would recommend it and stuff. I just don't like it. And I would watch this movie though. Like realistically, if someone's like, "Hey, let's watch a comedy tonight. Let's watch Stripes." I don't think I would say no, but I don't think I'd really pay attention anymore.
That's weird.
I know it's weird. I'm a weird guy, and I don't know how I'm even.
I don't like it. I mean, I'll stand outside the door while you guys want to yell shit through them.
Yeah, I'm not saying like I'll be in the kitchen, like I'm doing the dishes while you guys can watch this bullshit. But it's just, to me, like there's many things that I'll just have on in the background as I'm doing the other shit anyway. Like if I'm writing or whatever, I'll still have something on just to kind of fill that noise. Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, like, do I love it as much as Groundhog Day? I keep saying Groundhog Day. Is it Groundhog's Day?
I think it's Groundhog Day.
I think Groundhog Day. Okay. The great internet look-up-a-thon. Yeah, I don't love it as much as Groundhog's Day, but...
It is Groundhog Day. Yeah, there's no S. Fuck. Yeah. I told you, I believe it's Groundhog Day. Yeah, it's only one. It's not Groundhogs and that's my groundhog.
And this is fucking better than your Michael Caine.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. God. I want to do more Michael Caine. How about this? You ready?
Yeah,
okay. Close your eyes.
Shake it.
Okay. My name is Michael Caine. That was so bad.
Does he have gigantism or something? My name is Michael Caine.
Tell me about them horses, George. Just tell me about them horses.
Oh, man.
Oh, my eyes are watery again. So anyway, Michael.
That was so terrible. I loved it so much.
This was the movie Stripes, and you recommended
more.
Yeah.
Impressions to make you do next episode.
Name one more celebrity that has a distinct voice, and I will try it right now. I will do it on command.
I mean, you might have done this one already. Connery?
Okay. Sean Connery. Let's think. What's a memorable line that he says? That way I can say it. Like
well, you can do the James Bond Shaken Not Stirred or Miss Moneypenny something bullshit.
Okay.
I don't know.
He has like a He has like the long like shrug, like he it's a lot of lower.
You could say I'm a dragon, grr.
Because he was in Dragonheart. That made me think about that, like, because he was just all CGI. It was just the voice. Actually, really quick about Gers. You've seen Sideways, correct?
Yeah, of course.
So the part where asshole in the movie,
Thomas Hayden
yeah,
Church.
Thomas Hayden Church. So he goes, rawr. Like, because when they're talking about going back to like Sandra Oh's place or whatever, he's like, yeah, let's do it. Rawr.
I should do Sideways.
I mean, I'm not, if it's on something, like, yeah, we could do it. I think it's on Amazon Prime, to be fair. But, okay. So, Sean Connery, and you want me to say shaken, not stirred, right?
Sure. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I don't fucking know. Okay, so, let me try this. Just what I think of Sean Connery's voice. I have my eyes closed.
I mean, you can do the Celebrity Jeopardy, too.
Like, okay, like... That's not what your mother said last night. Like
that wasn't terrible.
That wasn't terrible.
You weren't even trying.
I wasn't.
You know what? It was natural. It just came out of you. Like it's feeling good.
Like the sweat that comes out of my orifices. Yeah. When I panic, like right now.
Does fuck come out of orifices or pores? You fucking
could be. It could be. You know what? I'm not a scientist.
Look, I sweat out my mouth.
I'm not a math
Some
magician.
people call it saliva.
Come out of my
Some
ears.
people call it body water. You know, who am I to judge them?
Yeah, why don't you go check your hand computer and tell me? All right. You fucker.
Oh,
anyway.
This fucking episode's gone off the rails.
Okay, so that was the movie Stripes. So the next episode, we are doing Social Network, which is from 2010. And it was directed by David Fincher, starring Jesse Eisenberg, Justin Timberlake, Andrew Garfield, and would you say Zuli Mara? Fuck, which Mara was it?
Rooney
Mara. Would you say she was starring in that, or not really?
Not about starring, but she is an important character.
Yeah, I mean she has like what 8-minute screen time. But anyway, so Social Network.
Judi Dench won an Oscar for like 6 minutes.
In what?
Shakespeare in Love.
Okay, I'll allow it. I was going with Paltrow. That's Harvey Weinstein. That sucks. Yeah. Tarnished. That's tarnished.
It's a good movie, though.
I never saw it. So, but I would take your suggestion to not watch it. So, yeah, next movie we're doing is The Social Network, which is available on Netflix. That episode will be out next week. So I hope you enjoyed Stripes. Remember, you can actually send your requests for movies to spectacular@gmail.com, or you can go gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is spectacular.com, and then that's Spectacular on every social media. You can just find us. And so we appreciate you listening. Mike, why don't you take us away?
Spectacular. Like an army march kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I get it. That was just bad.
Okay,
bye.
It's better than your fucking impressions.
First of all, Michael Caine speaks like this.